Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Reginal Lyerly, and I want to thank Brightside Global Trade TV for the opportunity to present to you today. For me, it is about service. I served 23 years in the United States Army, where I was a religious affairs non-commissioned officer. It was about service for me when I wore a uniform. I no longer wear a uniform, but it is still about service for me and my local community and across the country. So the areas that I serve is as a business capital agent, as a final expense specialist, CBD distributor broker, personal credit coach, and I've also taken on the role of helping small businesses get legal services. So this is something that is near and dear to my heart. But today, the emphasis is going to be on business capital. So let's see what we got. Got businesses, they need to get fuel and they need to get fuel for their businesses. I know fuel has been the talk throughout throughout the country and throughout the world. We use it, but when I think about fuel, I think about financial capital to keep small and medium businesses going, to be able to handle their operating costs, to be able to keep the employees on the payroll, to be able to do the things that they need to do to stay functional. I am partnered with the company David Allen Capital, and they pride themselves on this motto. They say yes when the banks say no. And I can give you a little reason as to why that is. You got 60% of businesses typically are either breaking even or operating in the red most of the time. With the rising costs due to inflation and so many other factors, this could go up. Banks have a lot of strict standards, and only like a small percentage are actually going to be able to qualify outright for funding. And there's usually two reasons for that: either no or insufficient capital, or enough revenue is not being generated for the bank to be able to take a chance on them. We talked about inflation, so I'm definitely not going to talk about that one again. There are three ways that we fund businesses. You got Giggle Finance that specializes in funding under 5,000. They have Biddy Advance that specializes in funding under 25,000. And you got Bank Breezy that specializes in funding between 25,000 and 2 million. Okay, the first one I'm gonna talk about is Giggle Finance. This is for independent contractor funding, gig worker funding, Uber drivers, Lyft drivers, independent contractors, network marketers, anybody that works and receives a 1099 could potentially be eligible for this type of funding. And the basic requirements are indicated here on the screen with an instant online funding of up to $5,000. The approval amount is anywhere between 20 to 25% of the monthly revenue. And it's a shorter term because the amounts are smaller, so the terms to pay it back are smaller. But the uniqueness with this type of funding is you can use a personal or a business checking account. Just have to have your online banking set up, be in business 3 months or more, generate 3,000 or more in sales on a monthly basis, have 4 more deposits. So these are the basic things that we're looking for. They don't make it difficult for people to be able to get funding when they need it, because a lot of people don't need large amounts. They might just need a small amount just to keep things going, knowing that they're going to be able to make it back up on the other end. Okay, this is Biddy Advance. This is the larger funding. Small business, same day funding up to $25,000. The approval amount can typically be up to 75% of the monthly revenue. The okay, the repayment amount is generally, you can see that indicated between 1.19 and 1.69, but you have a lot of businesses, they will borrow $10,000 if they know they're going to make well above that within a very short period of time. The terms for these type of fundings is generally 4 to 6 months because it's a little bit larger than the previous one, and it's usually set up repayment through automatic daily payment. Your minimum requirements. Let's see what we got here. This one is important because this does require a business checking account. and an online banking must be set up. A business owner needs to be in business at least 6 months or more. Their monthly revenue needs to be at least 5,000 or better. And an owner, the credit score requirement is 550 or higher. These are your basic requirements for these type of fundings. The last one I wanted to show you is the one for Bank Breezy. This is the large funding. A lot of your medium-sized, larger companies access this. Fast online funding up to $2 million. The approval amount is typically 1 to 2 times the monthly revenue. So that's the key thing to remember with this. The repayment amount is normally 1.19 to 1.49 the advance amount. So it's a little bit larger. And an example that I indicate is that a person or a business may borrow $60,000 if they know they're going to be able to earn above that in a shorter period of time. Because these are larger fundings, it is spread out over a larger term between 4 to 24 months, depending on what the offer is and how much and how many months that it takes for repayment. A checking account is required, and that the business checking account, and it must be in the name of the business, and it cannot be a personal account. So I emphasize that again. Online banking has to be set up. A business can be in business 4 months or more, and this is the type of business that knows that they're going to generate and can demonstrate they generate $15,000 in monthly sales or higher. The owner has to have a FICO score of 500 or higher. You will probably notice with these fundings, if you have a business owner that has the right is generating the right amount of revenue, and they have a FICO score of 600 or lower, it's going to very much increase their likelihood of the lower of being able to get funding, because when they try to make it reachable and reasonable and feasible. Because I can tell you, a lot of the banks have much higher minimum requirements than this, and we want to be able to fuel businesses. We want businesses to be able to get funds when they need them, to be able to make those renovations, to be able to update things when they need it, to be able to bring on additional staff when they need it, to be able to invest in marketing, to be able to invest in advertising. And depending on the business, there's so many different things that this can be used for. So, is anyone ready to fuel their business today? It may not be you, but maybe it's someone that you know that needs this. Summer's here. We've got a lot going on within our world and in our economy. It's consumer based. We fuel the businesses so they can fuel the economy, so that consumers can buy, and so that we can keep things going in this world. Now, the final slide here is my contact information and how I can be reached. I do phone consultations, I do appointments, virtual, and depending on where you are, I do in-person appointments as well. So, this is Reginal Lyerly, and thank you for giving me the honor and the privilege to be able to present to you about our business capital products. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you so much. That's awesome. Wonderful. Any questions about financing? Does anybody need financing today? All right. If you're watching on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, LinkedIn, write us a comment and we'll connect you to Reginald. I'll make sure that his link is at the end of the video as well. So thank you very much. That was a wonderful presentation. And he's got financing available. So why not? It doesn't cost you anything to apply. So check that out.